And we're on.
Without it. Hello and welcome to
I have a pencil too.
Hello and welcome to the Bone Zone. Wait. There aren't
Cut.
even any bones.
Cut.
Wait.
Cut.
Restart.
Welcome.
To the
Internet.
world of tomorrow.
Welcome to Roll for That, where we play Dungeons and
Oh.
Dragons.
That's a real thing.
Which is definitely a very good game that's well balanced and fun.
It
Like
is.
every single game that ever existed. Okay.
Well, we're here now.
Yeah, we're here. Welcome. We're happy to have you.
All right. Last week we ended on you guys just barely getting back. I think you had talked to the master, who had promised the help of, was it 3?
It was 3 religious boys. Or girls, I don't actually know.
3 religious people within the order.
And
Boys
the
with
knight, if we agreed to replace the knight.
Upon need be.
But we decided maybe
Yeah, we avoided that. We're like,
we don't want we would rather err by inaction than by
yes. I don't want to enslave somebody to this thing, although I would like to use his help one day.
yeah, though I'll gladly accept help from his own. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And then we have a statue that we also tried to give him, and he's like, oh, this is extra. And so we keep the statue for now, because we don't know what we're actually going to give him, or what he's going to give us.
Yep. And so that's where we're at as far as that whole situation goes.
We have a meeting with Merrick.
Yep, and the next part that we have right now is a meeting with Merrick. Quick things from last time. The sword that you took, Whitney, was an intricate silver sword.
Dagger, yeah.
No.
You
Oh,
have
the
the
sword.
sword that was in the tomb
Yeah.
with the dude.
You picked up the sword from in the tomb with the guy, and that was an intricate silver. At this point, you're not sure if it is silvered or if the whole thing is.
You have the crazy dagger.
And then you did.
Oh
get
yeah,
that
the very
ancient
ornate
dagger.
short sword.
Mm-hmm. Grayson, you had that journal that you've been reading each night.
Yes.
You grabbed 2 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Have you-
Did you have both of them out, or did you keep both of them out and on your person, or just the one?
I probably just kept one out and on my person. But there is another one that I could potentially give to somebody else. Just keep that in mind.
Okay.
Oh no.
And then you also have a necklace of adaptation that glows
Yes.
in a 10-foot radius.
Yes.
Paxton, I don't think you grabbed that much. in
No,
comparison to everyone else.
I picked up a handful of old-looking coins and went, oh, those look cool.
Yeah, I have 5 of those gold coins, and technically, I didn't even pick up the book. She did.
Well,
I gave it to him because I
Oh,
was like,
right, right.
There is one person in our group who is literally a crow who likes to collect things.
Hey.
Dang Corvids, and they're collecting.
Regardless, you had gotten all of those things finished up, finished talking with the master. You have 1 favor owed, as well as the promise of 3 acolytes who were within the organization. It's approaching the time where you were going to be meeting with Merrick. It sounded like just basically an update, or like an important update, but an update on the information you currently have. Once you guys get back to the primary inn, you go into your private rooms, your private wing, and you see that pretty much everyone's there. Merrick is there, and he's got basically an easel where he's got a whole bunch of different like papers and things up on there, and everyone else is sitting against a table.
You got the Heist whiteboard, but it's not a white.
Yeah, no.
It's
Exactly.
the plans for stealing the moon whiteboard.
Yeah.
Yeah, the moon. I mean, all distracted on that one. That was.
Sorry.
No, you're fine.
Me too.
When you walk in, It looks like there's only a couple people missing, and one of them is part of the B&E team, so it's possible that they're not actually coming. But as you guys walk in, Merrick turns and has a big smile and goes, "There they are! We've been waiting on you guys. We heard you should be getting back around now. Glad that we could have you."
Sure thing.
How did it go?
We have 3 more acolytes. So, the teleportation circle should not be as big of an issue as
It would have been.
it would have been.
Perfect. That's great to hear.
Cirrus sits down on the table.
Cool. Merrick looks around the room and says, I think at this point we're good to go ahead. I'm going to start going over things. If there's anyone in your groups, your respective groups that isn't here, just update them on the important information. Turns to the board and it just has numerous different things on there. And he points first on there to this here. And he says, what we've received is the base plans for the cathedral. Now this is not furnished. We received just the architectural structure, but we do have the full architectural structure here, unless they added anything after its original building, which is possible, but this should be mostly up to date from what we know about church buildings. He gestures and points. You can even see where my mouse is. So handy. He gestures and points and says, "This is the main cathedral here." I think everyone has been familiar with cathedrals in general, so that's just where they sit, the pews, all those kinds of things. This is the entry hall. I know some of you have already gone through the entry hall. They have a couple guards that are always on duty here that are also work as guards and sometimes work also as guides, just to kind of show people around the common areas here and show off some of the artwork. It says, the rest of what we can tell from in this building, it seems that these two are being used by the higher priests as the actual locations where they have their meetings as well as their rooms and quarters. And so that's where the bishop.
That's level 1?
This is all on level 1 right here. They do have a baths in the first level as well, and a lot of study areas for the acolytes to be able to do their studies and work and all those types. The second floor primarily, it does have a large study area as well. Here is going to be a large study area, and we've been told, he gestures over to Rolf and says, by Rolf's friend, that this is actually where the portal is, or rather the ritual circle to get us into the vault. He points to you, Paxton, and he says, you let us know that there is a possible way in on the second floor, a window. Is that right?
Yes, I did consult some local animals.
The animal may have misled you slightly. He points to this here and says, to this area. Oh, that's in the wrong spot. Anyway, he points to this here and says, all of this is actually a small lip where guards will walk around on the outside of the building. There are windows here that get you into a hallway that leads to the acolyte's living quarters. So it doesn't go directly into a bedroom, but possibly the window that animal is talking about might go straight to the door to the bedroom. And he looks around and says, this whole area here is completely open. Right here is just a viewing area for those who are more well off than others. They can have a private seating and a private viewing area for the cathedral itself. We know that the vault is on the 3rd floor. Know how to get up there, and that it takes 10 minutes for someone to be sent up there by 4 acolytes. It also takes 4 minutes to get them back down under all accounts that we've heard. However, this is one of the spots where we are lacking information. We know nothing about what's inside other than it's the vault where have the artifact and where they have many other things. To get more information about that before we want to go and do anything else. Now, I'm sure all of you are wanting to know the guards situation. Our good friend, he gestures to the gnome that you guys have been working with as far as gaining further skills.
Corn?
Yep, Corin. Oh, sorry, that's Halfling, sorry. Gestures to the observant Halfling, Corin. Not gnome, I apologize. And says, thanks to Corin, we have a general understanding that his observations as well as some investigating that I've done, we know that they generally have guards that are in teams of 8 or 7 that patrol and are in different places. This does include the 2 that are at the front doors to help and guide. We also know that there's 3 that are typically along the outside of this rim on the 2nd, 3rd floor, depending on how tall you think. So we know about those 5. The other 3 were not, or sorry, we know about those 5, but the other 3 were not as certain about where they're actually going. The time where there's the least amount of guards is 7, and that's it. During the middle of the night, they only have 7 opposed to. We don't know what the difference is in actual guards or skills or anything, but we know that they have 1 less guard at that time. We could try to get a little bit more information about the guards before we do it, but even just knowing that there's only 8 guards ever actually actively on duty is good to know, but the rest of the guards do still live in the cathedral. They will still be there, they're just not actively. And that doesn't even account the fact that they have somewhere between 18 and 27 acolytes. While they may not be trained fighters, they all have faith in their god enough to be able to put up a fight. Does anyone have any thoughts or anything they can add at this point?
4 of those acolytes don't have to work.
That's true. We will have the assistance of 1 acolyte for sure, and then the 3 that are going to be working with us under influence of your friend.
Correct.
Perfect. Syken is the one that's currently here as far as the B&E team. Syken stands up and says, I just got confirmation that Zeta and her friends have been speaking with the authorities. I don't know what they've been saying to them, but they have been speaking to them. Everyone in the room kind of makes that same, not the exact same thing, but everyone does like the sigh and the like. There's a scattered murmur at that point from everyone in the room.
I simply pull out my dagger.
Nizam says, "We take care of them." And Merrick looks at him and says, "That is one option. We could. There's only 3 of them." But that doesn't mean that we just want to... That's still going to bring up kind of problems here. If they've already talked to them, they might already know information. They don't know everything, though. And if we kill them, and they've already talked to them, then that's also going to be a little suspicious. But we still could, because maybe they have further information, and for all I know, they could continue hassling them.
Do we know which guards has spoken with them and where they are staying?
You're saying where Zeta's staying?
Yes.
We still know where Zeta's staying, the same place you found
What's
them.
that shady, urn in the corner pub place?
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay.
Yeah, that one.
We
It's been a
could
minute.
take other measures to make them disappear without killing them.
Well,
What are
Go.
you thinking?
Well, we want to know what's been shared with the
I know that they were speaking to a couple guards at at this point it is Syken speaking. And he says they were speaking to the guards at this corner, on the corner of Second and or whatever. He says where they're at, and it's actually the location where your man, where you recognize that elf man was there. Mm-hmm.
Is it consistent eating? I can replicate it.
I've only seen them go there once. That doesn't mean they haven't been there before, but I only saw them speaking with them once, but it was for a good long time.
Not fast that enemy.
So that it would be very neat, guys' word. Make them seem a little bit less trustworthy.
You know,
To the
I could be very good at
authorities.
that.
That could be a lot of fun, but also potentially just a time sink to distract.
Yes.
Merrick says, we'll get to that as well. We'll need to take care of them. There's another matter that I wanted to bring up. One of a traveling hospitaller is coming in to inspect some of the troops here within the next 3 days, which means it's possible that they could get an influx of troops during the time he's here, and I don't know how long he's going to be. If we get this done in the next 3 days, we may be good. If not, then I can't promise that all this information is going to stay the same.
Got some people who might be willing.
Yes, tell me about that. What is the most recent information on that?
The Greylark estate hires almost exclusively non-believers in order to prevent conflict of interests is a good way of putting it. And most of those guards dislike being treated as poorly as they are for being non-believers when they're in the town. And I've been talking with a few, or we have been talking with a few of them, and they seem willing to start doing little things to show their to show how unhappy they are with this. I think that we could probably channel their frustration into useful distractions, though certainly not anything extremely large or.
Well, any kind of unrest is going to bring troops. Merrick looks up and smiles and said, what about...
It would have to be.
Do you think you could have them do something in the next 3 days?
Almost certainly.
Do you think they'd be willing to do it during the later night?
I mean, the last time where we had people out late at night, one of them stabbed someone who he thought was a guard from the church. So,
Like, oof.
I say yes.
See if you can organize that.
Yeah, I'll probably have to talk with Syken about drink funds.
And Syken just nods at you and like pats his coin purse. He says, perfect. So we'll have you guys take care of that at least. I'm going to see if I can get any further information about the vault itself. But it needs someone. He points over to Rolf and says, if you can keep your ears out for any information about that hospitaller that's coming, and if it's actually a hospitaller or not, because depending on who it is coming, it's going to make a big difference. All that we've heard so far is rumors and a confirmation that someone's coming. So, if you can get any further information, Rolf, that'd be perfect. And then he looks over to Nizam. No, he doesn't talk to Nizam, sorry. He looks over to Krog and says, do you think that you can take care of the guard post? Would you need any help? And Krog looks at Nizam and says, what are you wanting us to do?
Where are the guard folks?
Merrick smiles, shrugs, and says, "One thing or another. If you can cause havoc, find out what they know. Just between the four of you, do you think you could get it taken care of?" And Krog's looking a little uncertain about it. And he says, "I could,
I just whispered.
I could try."
I don't think the biggest show at the first show is. Although I guess we could always go bigger.
And he says, if any of you need help with any of these, just work amongst yourself. I'm gonna focus on that. I'm gonna focus on the artifact in its vault. But if there's anything else anyone needs to bring up to our attention, let us know. Otherwise, I think let's go ahead and get this taken care of to our own separate. And then everyone starts nodding. That was at midnight, so it probably is. I mean, if we're talking about how long we actually talked, it's only been like 15 minutes. But probably there was more talking.
Yeah, there was more cross channel, and everybody had to be present.
Exactly.
Brian Cirrus to after you. What do you do? Yeah. So, real quick.
You guys are frozen.
Oh,
I'm frozen.
Hello.
Oh.
it's okay, world.
I unfroze you guys.
Did we?
No.
Artus unfroze.
Womp womp.
Why are the cameras being so dumb today?
So, I have some concerns.
Me too.
They can still hear you, they just don't see you guys moving.
Don't worry. My emotions are not important to this story.
Yeah, no worries. Our physical acting is abominable.
So I've been reading that journal we found about those daggers, and there's something way off about them.
Okay.
You picked one up, correct? You felt that energy, or did you not touch it?
I didn't touch anything, but it was gross down there.
Yeah. Needless to say, those daggers, I hate what they are. I don't know everything about them, but they were created for some nefarious purpose.
You learned this from the book that you've been reading?
That, and I've handled magic weapons from this, well, what I thought was the same civilization, but these are different.
Okay.
I pull out my dagger, and I don't know what's different exactly, but the feel of them is different. Put it back. Needless to say, this is a journal entry of he was a guard or a commander of an outpost, and his commanding officer sent him 6 daggers for him to use, and immediately his units who held those daggers would not part with them. They felt like they were their blades, and they were okay with that. And when they put them on the front lines, they fought like demons and conjured shadows to fight with them. And I don't think it's anything like what you have.
Okay.
As the way he describes it.
Okay. Conjured shadows, but not shadows.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
They were shrouded in a cloud of something, and they can extend the shadows out from there. So it's similar, but he does not describe it the way that
But it was a very clearly unwholesome, evil thing. Just
yeah.
is what the author of your book said.
He mentions that during a skirmish, 2 of his troops changed, having shadow laced with red energy.
Got it.
And they proceeded. They proceeded to strike not at just the enemy in this fury of rage, but at allies too, cutting down many of his good friends. According to this. Needless to say, the generals of his army sent some people to study these daggers more, the 4 that were remaining. Because when the 2 people who were in that cloud died, they turned into skeletons, continued to fight. Needless to say, all the researchers got killed by these guys when they were trying to research them, and then the dudes sealed them with magic. So whatever that blade is, there's a curse to it. There's something bad about it. And I do not like the idea of Talia having that.
And you say that the people who held them inexplicably felt attached to them?
Yes.
And, oh,
Much like Talia has been the last couple days.
I thought that was just her normal fixation with shiny things. If it's more than that, though...
And personally, I don't know much about breaking curses.
Me neither.
I only caused them.
I have never caused a curse, sir.
What's joke?
So the question is, we just steal the dagger and like we can't just like let some random person have it because it's gonna be bad no matter who gets it. In my personal opinion, somehow destroy it, but I'm also not a master at that. Anyways, those are my concerns.
Were
And
you
I
just
don't
going to bed?
Yeah, I just went to bed.
Just making sure.
like with hushed whispers in the room.
I don't know. We've been on the road for days, and unlike some people, I have to sleep.
Okay. Thanks for letting me get this off my chest real quick.
I'll sleep on it, and we'll figure something out. I'm sure of it. Probably. We might, off the top of my head, I think like Rolf or Shalane. They seem like the kind of people who know people who know.
Sorry, and just one more thing. It seems that the dagger is activated upon killing things. It said people, but it could be animals. It said not to hunt. I'm a little confused by that, but as long as we can stop her from killing stuff with the dagger, it might be okay. But go to sleep, and I'll ask about some curse break.
Sounds good.
I like the phrase curse breakers. Everyone goes to bed.
Yay, nighty night.
The next day, when you guys, you're awake all night. Do you usually stay in your room, or do you usually stay in the common area?
I think I sit in my room with the door open.
Until people are in the common area.
Kind of. I might stroll around, take some leisurely walks. Get some, go to the kitchen, food.
Cool.
If they have a kitchen that runs all the time. If they don't.
They would here.
Yeah.
It would be minor things at night, but they would have something.
Like just a roll or something.
Yeah, they would definitely be running at least all night.
And they probably have people, like, this is a really nice establishment, so they've probably got people, like, chopping vegetables and stirring, like,
Yeah, they basically got
sure
like
that they're
3
ready
basic
for-
foods.
all day.
I probably eat 4 meals a day just because, like,
Boredom.
no, staying awake. I don't know if you've ever worked grave shift, but staying awake at times when you're supposed to sleep, like, I think you just burn more calories. And I don't know if that's a scientific thing, but I was so hungry when I worked grave shift.
That is true.
I don't know.
He ate so much.
Like, I ate so much. And I was not nearly as active as I am now. Like at my job, like I walk so much more now than I did at grave shift, because at grave shift I could sit, not have to worry about
It and cameras.
just sit. I wasn't always in a room with cameras. Sometimes you're just like, I'm gonna sit here. In fact, you know where the rooms where there aren't cameras. But yeah,
Anyway,
I definitely eat 4 meals. That's what I decided.
Cool. From here then, after a while, you're awake when Bill gets back from whatever he was doing. He just sits down at the table and starts eating once he gets there and stays there for a while, and people start waking up. Syken comes out and you see him sit down and talk to Bill for a while. You hear snippets, likely, updating him.
Fair enough. Yeah.
people just start waking up slowly, kind of one-ish person at a time. At least one person from every group wake at about this. You guys might be still asleep because of the long ride or the long time that you were on the road. I don't know. Time you want to wake up, you can.
I think Krista. We did a minor retcon that actually was a.
They do have some teas, so so when you asked the lady thought that you were specifically talking about high stimulants. They have some minor stimulants, just not quite.
Just
as,
like it. Yeah.
Exactly.
So I think the first you see of Cirrus is he walks just like with the "don't look at me until I've had my coffee" face on, straight through the room, and then he comes back with a thing of tea and closes the door, and then smell incense coming out of, and like next time the door opens, this cloud of smoke comes out with him, and he's
and
just
he looks like a brand new man,
all done up and like
perfect.
I probably got up with like the early riser. Went for a brief flight for the day.
Makes sense to me.
I probably only use.
Pretty early on, at about the same time that she went on her flight, Merrick actually was up and gone before. But you hear him up in his room later than a lot of people. But yeah, so he got up and just basically, you saw him like grab something from the table and just like, walked out and just gave everyone a brief hello and nods and things. And it was gone. Everyone else is mostly milling about and generally does mill about for a little while. After a while, once everyone's awake and all these things, Krog leaves with all of their group. And then Bill is just still sitting at the table with Syken, but they're not actually talking anymore. You see them both going over kind of like paper ledgers.
Nice.
And then Rolf and his family, they're doing a morning. They have a general morning routine where it seems like they all wake up their fingers by practicing basic things on their scales and all those. Exactly.
I'll probably practice I'm not like blowing on my flute, but I'm like, this is probably good to keep up on.
Yeah, and most of the time they don't even actually play. You can slightly hear a hum, but not the usual volume that you hear from them, especially during.
Like their stringed instruments are probably loud. Like they can just finger a flute.
But anyway, that's mostly it. Arla and Nesta don't wake up basically until forever, and Corin wakes up.
Beauty sleep.
Maybe apparently.
Well, they want their beauty.
Yeah, it's hard to say what exactly. And Corin is similar to Merrick in experience. He stays up way too late and goes up pretty early.
Bill and Syken, I'm gonna give them one of the gold coins from that crypt area, and I'm like, we found some of these where we went. We have a couple more, but I don't know if they have any value, or if we can make them have value.
Yeah, the man. I've had an off day today, but anyway, Bill picks up the coin that you slide over to him and says, "Oh, I don't see this type of thing very often." He takes it and he looks at it for a good long time, then kind of under his breath, but to you at the same time, says, "These aren't found very often, and many people don't care much. Go to the right place, you can get up to 20 gold coins per one of these. If not, they're worth their weight in gold, which is pretty close to exactly a gold coin. Well, but not every shop's going to accept it, and it's rare for the collectors and historians. Harder to find them. In a city like this, I might be. it's not a guarantee.
I will pull out the other 4 and like, well, actually, I'm gonna keep one. I like the idea.
So you're handing him 4
I'm like,
total?
here's 4. If you guys can make money off of them, sounds good to me. But I'm gonna keep one as like a.
Okay. Good.
I have.
I picked up 5.
Yeah, he says,
I picked up 6 originally.
he says, I'll keep an eye out, but there's other cities where we'd have better luck.
Oh,
This one's not quite as scholarly as some of the others. He mentions one of the other main cities with an artifact in them, and I will get back to you on the one specifically because
Okay.
I didn't write it down in a very obvious way.
That's okay.
He says, I have notes everywhere, but I don't want to deal with it quite yet. And he just says the whole cathedral is well known for its library. That's all that it really. So when we go there, if we go there, then they would likely accept it for the 20 straight out, 20 each. If I do it here, the highest I might find is probably 10.
You're okay holding on to that? I'll let you use that to fund whatever we need. But I have no use carrying 4 coins that may or may not be worth anything. I'm gonna keep one. So I don't know. Pick the best ones, and I'll just keep one as like a. But
He shakes his head and says, "They're all the same. Ancient coins like this are worth. They're worth what the historians make them."
fair enough.
He's just like they're all authentic, so it really doesn't matter which ones I take.
I just take the nicest. Have them on it.
Ooh, fancy. Is anyone else doing anything this morning, or are we going? Does anyone have anything they're wanting to do today? I know that the plan is just that you're going to speak to someone likely tonight so far, but if there's anything else today, we.
Just check.
Oh, I should probably talk with Rolf and. No, leave them on.
Curse breakers.
I don't particularly.
Yeah.
Well, then, if you want, Rolf is here. Merrick is not.
Okay.
I'll
talk with Rolf.
Oh wait, sorry, you weren't even talking about Merrick anyway. You were talking about Rolf and Shalantha.
Yes.
They are both here. They're all currently practicing together. So.
I at a good stopping point at whatever I think's a stopping point. Like, can I speak with you two for a moment?
Yeah, the two. Are you looking around suspiciously?
I look.
Like that?
I look to see if she's in the room real quick.
Are you in the room?
Because I probably know if you're in the room or not, but I'm like double checking kind of idea.
I probably am in the room, but I'm probably just like on a table.
That makes sense.
He sends me a signal, and I go and distract her.
Yeah. Perfect. I'm like, talk with the bird.
Hey!
Oh, I'm not even sure. Okay, they could see that. It's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. So when I go off to the side of the room, I'm like. So, on our adventure through these acolytes, we came across some weapons that very well might have a curse on them. I'm pretty sure Talia is attached to it now. Do you guys have any suggestions how to break that? Because that is not my expertise. You guys seem to know a lot about a lot.
They both look at each other and they kind of give each other like a that kind of a look. I mean, my face just said it. I don't have descriptive words for it apparently. And they both look back at you and say, "We're really in the best place for that in general." And then she takes over and says, "The clerics here, any of the clerics." Maybe not the acolytes, but most of the people higher up would likely have access to be able to help with curse breaking. Now, I'm not sure we want to... Now would maybe be a better time... Now might be a better time then later, because they might be looking for us at a later point if we're continuing with the plan, either here or the next city would probably be your best bet. Because if we're doing too much more than that, then they might start to not always want to work with anyone.
That's probably a really good idea.
And they look back and forth between each other again and say, it's usually a pretty high cost, but if you talk to Merrick and if you talk to Syken and Bill, then they could probably help you. This is something that we might want to get taken care of, if what you're saying is...
I was gonna talk to Merrick, but he just up and skedoodled out.
Yes,
So
he's worried about that vault. I don't think he's... Rolf says, I've worked with him before. He's more worried about that vault than he's leading on to be.
You know, I should take care of it. Thanks for your input. Okay. Do you know if the red uniforms or the blue uniforms would be better? Probably the blue ones, right? They're the
Definitely talk to the blue.
They're the less aggressive.
You're gonna want to talk to the blue robes.
The blue
There's gonna be
robes.
blue accents on their
Okay.
clerical robes.
I cost.
Meanwhile, back at our table. And then they heard the little click, clack, click, click, clack, click of dog paws on the cobblestones. And out comes the lady's dog just running down the way, and you'll never guess what it had in its mouth. A brick!
Why did a dog have a brick? That's so stupid.
So you see the beginning of the joke. I walk over to the table.
Right as they're laughing in hysterics.
Yeah. Well, it's probably like I'm laughing because I think my joke is the funniest thing ever. She's laughing because
I don't fully understand
She
it,
doesn't
and I
get
think
it.
it's hilarious.
and like everyone else at the table is like, that was the stupidest. Like what just happened?
Everyone else was pretending, well, not really pretending, but they were mostly
gave a
acting like
pity
they
laugh.
weren't listening. But you could tell they were. And then they made it very
And
obvious.
then they regretted that they were listening.
How can you not listen to a joke? But they shouldn't have.
Sometimes it's just better to listen to good jokes.
Hey, my jokes are great.
Yeah. I like brick jokes too. Anything with a brick in it, solid gold.
Comedy gold.
Anyway, so you wander back
Yeah, I sit down.
eventually, and I like push you a cup of tea.
Delicious.
So, what are our plans for the day?
I don't have anything particular until we meet with Wolf and gang.
Wolf and Randall and Errol and Yellens and the other one, one of them might be named Kane. Maybe.
I only have Wolf, Randall, Enel, and Gellis.
Yeah.
Gilius. I have.
Gellius, yeah.
Galius.
That's all I have.
So no
Anyway.
Kane.
Do you know where to meet up with Wolf?
Oh yeah, I just always go to that one bar by the dock.
The Crushed Clan?
The crushed.
Right.
Clam.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
So glad that everyone else is slightly better than me.
I have this nice cheat sheet right here.
I also have one, but the crushed clam apparently isn't on it.
Yeah.
Why would you write down the crushed clam?
I
So-
should have already known, but anyway.
Hey.
It's been like 3 months since our last visit there, so.
Like 3 weeks in game? 3 months out of game?
I
Hey.
don't know. Well, yes, or anyway, doesn't matter.
So that's the
Not
plans I
even.
have.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
After- Go on.
I do inform you guys of the possible price of those coins.
Ooh.
And then, like,
Oh.
You might want to hold on to those until we can sell them reliably for a high price.
Makes sense to me. If there's nothing else you guys are planning on doing, really, is there anywhere you're wanting to go? Anything at all, really, you're wanting to do?
Let's see. I might want to maybe just handle it with a skill check, but like wander around and come up with ideas of places or people, or things that I could get a mob to disrupt in order to get maximum distraction out of the guards with minimum risk to the people.
Yeah, go ahead and roll. I don't even know. So
perception or insight or
do insight.
Do rabble rousing.
Yeah, roll for rabble rousing.
So that's deception, right?
I guess I would assist
Or
with
persuasion,
this,
I guess.
I'm not the best person to assist with this, but I'm guessing we're just walking around together.
Just everyone.
Yeah.
Go later. Getting a feel for... You guys are all walking around getting a feel for the city and the way that it's set up and all that kind of stuff to get an idea of what you're doing. He's rolling for it and you guys are assisting.
Okay.
Yeah, so... Or I mean, two because they're assisting.
Okay,
I meant.
so they are doing the assist.
I meant that they weren't both getting the
We're
dice.
only doing one skill check. For
Exactly.
It. Alrighty. That is at 21.
21. So you have a pretty good idea about at least one thing you can do. Now, I don't know if you guys remember that amazing play that you had gone to not too long
Oh my
ago.
gosh, it was so
With
great.
the octopus and angels?
But
the angels under the water.
It was great till the
That
end, if
part
I
didn't
remember
make
correctly.
sense.
However, as you're walking around and thinking about it, it kind of just suddenly came to you all that is a large stadium that holds moderately regular events that would be pretty easy to disrupt. There's minimal guards, and there's maximum people to be able to disrupt and make some sort of scene, depending on what you're wanting. And you could do it with minimal actual physical damage, well, or you could do it with more physical damage. It's kind of up to whatever the heck you want to do. But it would be a prime place that is pretty far away from the cathedral.
Mm-hmm.
And it was pretty close to where the Greylock is.
It's not too
it's
far.
within one or two of the octans.
It's
Yeah,
close enough that
it's maybe 1.5
that the
octans,
guards could
but not.
have a reason to be in that area.
It's
and
closer
or escape
to
quickly.
closer to the Greylock estate than the Crushed Clam.
Mhm.
So
In fact, if I remember correctly, we walked to the Crushed Clam from the
You did.
first time we went.
you did. That's correct.
So,
So it would be a good spot to go to after the Crushed Clam if you wanted to get them drunk first.
Mhm.
But all of these kinds of things come to your mind as you're thinking
Yeah.
about it. There's other places that could work, but this one's feeling pretty opportune as far as the optional damage to optimal distraction.
Perfect. And then I would also talk to the Bill and Zoe. The money for buying drinks.
Lycan's gone at the moment,
Mhm.
and so it would be built. Yes. Well, I mean, he basically just hands you 10 gold coins and says, "Go crazy."
Oh, I will. You know how many oyster shots 10 gold coins will buy?
A lot.
hundreds.
More
than the
I
establishment
probably
probably
go to the
has.
Crushed Clam and I pay him ahead of time, hey, you should stock up on some stuff for when I have my next party.
Open up a tab, basically.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm gonna be here tonight. Won't be here the next night.
That way they actually have enough oyster.
Yeah, to make sure that they have the.
They're gonna be fresh.
Man, those.
This is gonna be the freshest oysters this
While
bar has
we're
ever
out
served.
walking about.
The day you guys realized that was real was pretty priceless. I wasn't making it up completely. But anyway, go on. Yeah, you're like, how are people doing?
I don't know.
Go on, though.
It's alcohol.
Did we walk by any clothing stores, fabric
I'm
shops.
sure you did. At least one or two.
Oh no. Another shopping montage?
Shopping!
Yeah. I probably bought like a link. I
Like,
cannot find what that would cost.
yeah, so it's going to be in the trade goods, and it's probably like 3 down in. So it's going to be by where it says chickens and all those kinds of things. And in this town, it's probably going to be marked up by a little bit. So let me know what it says in there. And in this town, it's going to be marked up by like, I don't know. If you need me to, I can look. Away.
Mounts of animal trade goods.
Yeah, and so the
Silk.
trade.
So 1 square yard of silk is 10 gold.
How many yards do you think you got? A foot and a half.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's gonna cost you like
6.
Correct.
It's expensive.
It's marked up.
Or you can buy a cow for that.
Not buying a
Good.
cow.
1 square yard of silk is worth 1 cow.
Silk.
1 yard of fabric is not very much.
No, it's not.
You can make a square.
Yep, that's about it. What I was gonna use it for.
So it worked out anyway, but
Yeah.
She gets just
I just
not
wanted a
not a
silk
square yard,
scarf.
but like a.
so they cut one. You're cutting it down to a half a yard, and then you're cutting that in half. But they give you that amount. They actually don't make you like sew it or anything. They have a silken thing that they have set up already to be able to cut in half for a thin. Does that not make sense?
No, sorry, I was
Oh.
distracted. I was looking at what
Yeah, so you
ingredients
get what
go
you
in
want.
real world oyster shots. And,
I
and
give them 5 gold coins. Those.
only 79 calories.
All right. They don't. This person didn't notice that it wasn't just a normal. So
Yeah, it was worth a bunch of other gold.
exactly. Oh, you were good. You're like, got my money's worth.
Oh.
How can I buy oysters?
At this point, then, yeah.
It's blue.
Ooh.
Like, bluish.
Like sky blue.
Like, okay, probably more like the turquoise steep on your cup. there.
Turquoisey blue.
Yeah.
Turquoisey blue.
Up for reference.
Not for reference. So, if that's everything that's going to be done during the day, we'll go ahead and we'll cut just kind of. It's approaching evening at this point. The usual time that you get Wolf in the.
I haven't met Wolf as me,
Crushed
right?
clam.
The crushed clam.
I've only met Wolf as a guard.
I was stuck on oysters.
Me too.
I know you are. But yeah, I think that you've only.
Not for any particular
You
reason.
might have met him the first time or not the very first time, but like the first couple times where they met together, you might have been at the bar but not really talked to him. She has talked to them directly.
I might come as a mercenary that your suit
Okay.
to kind of buy it as well.
Mhm.
Be a compatriot that's not actually part of the guard,
No,
They're
just not part of the,
not part of the Greylock estate. So I'm just like a sellsword in town.
but not
It's
part
a
of the
believer.
church either. Yeah.
They're I just want to be a common.
like we'll say that you were a caravan guard. Because you were at one.
Yeah,
I
and
was.
you as a previous caravan guard would kind of have the general idea that if you're not a believer, then people don't quite trust you. And it's a very palpable feeling. You feel it from them if you're not a believer and you're a guard, opposed to if you can see the difference. Just
Can I borrow that silver?
Sure.
I just get like a loop of thing and open blade for right now.
Probably
You
one of those
basically
things
just got
we
like a
could've done
ring,
today.
like a ring holder. Like
Yeah. I'm like,
With your very clearly ornate, fancy silver
Something. Actually.
before we
Meet with your friends.
go. Yeah, probably.
Because no respecting caravan.
The handle is also pretty ornate, so like the whole thing is. It looks like the whole thing is silver.
Extremely.
And my-
ornate.
Silver or silvered, it's hard to tell, but it's all silver.
So I guess I can stop by an armory. How much to get a basic sheet?
So there's gonna be a bunch of questions and haggling, but basically, are you looking to match the ornateness?
Nope.
Are you looking
In fact,
to
the simpler the
preserve?
better.
Are you looking to preserve the soft metal and the polish on this soft metal?
The best of your.
Okay. And are you where are you looking to have it?
I would like it on my.
The guy that's there basically says he can get it taken care of for about 3 gold with that kind of.
Before the end of the night? Or before time? Question mark?
The guy takes he asks if he can take the sword in back. He takes the sword in back and comes out with a sheath that's literally like a fur sheath. That's maybe slightly tailored and like slightly put together to not look like it's just straight up fur. But he says
His leopard print.
I can do this tonight. So the way that it's set up and you can look at it is the outside is like the under the skin, and inside the sheath itself is fur.
So fur facing blade.
The fur is facing the blade. Yes. He says now this could tarnish the blade. This is not soft fur. It could scratch it.
And you look like an absolute brat.
Thank you for saying it.
Is it? Now the question is, do I need? I don't have a nice weapon.
He's like, I can give this to you for a gold. Like,
how much do I have to impress your friends?
Please don't do this to me. Just don't bring a sword. It's easy.
How much would you buy this sword for?
Or just buy a basic arming sword.
That
would be better.
the guy
That's
looks
good,
at your
yeah.
sword and he says, if you give me an hour, I can test it. And then I can let you know. I can't tell just by looking at it if it has a silver lining or if it is fully a silver blade.
How much for an arming sword?
Whatever's in the player's handbook.
Plus a little bit. But yeah,
Plus 10%.
basically. Yeah,
Because now he
big city
sucks.
prices. No, just big city prices.
I apologize to any of our UK viewers who might be more sensitive about the language that I used. In the US, where we are based, that word has much less heavy meaning than...
A little kinder.
5 or 10 gold.
Again, this viewing is not intended for children.
Yeah, basically.
Maybe I just bring a spear. I'm like looking at. I'm looking at the guy's
just don't bring
prices.
weapons. That's fine too.
I have a
Technically
nice dagger.
speaking,
You
if
can
you're a
have this
sellsword.
dagger.
Hmm?
You can have this dagger.
You can borrow
The
a
one that
dagger from
you're
her.
not bonded to.
Yeah.
It's
If you
identical
want-
to the
if
one
you
you
want
The
want
one
to,
that she's
but
willing to
it-
offer you, yeah.
You know,
You have places to store that
Yeah.
where you wouldn't.
I take it from you. I'm like, okay, maybe put the silver sword back in your bag. I'm sorry to waste your time, sir.
Cyrus, like, he delivered his one-liner earlier, and then he wandered over and was like watching an apprentice like do some drudge work and offering unhelpful,
Perfect.
just being away from this conversation.
The guy doesn't look like he looks hassled but not annoyed. Like he's like,
This is what happens when you run a business.
And then I'm going to proceed to, as soon as possible, stash this magic cursed dagger into my lantern so I'm not carrying it.
Okay. Deal. You now have this cursed dagger in your. Well, you will have it in your possession right now, in your lantern when you have the time. Anyway.
Like, shoot down a corridor as soon as I think it's clear.
Like, go find a phone booth and
Yeah. Like, sweet. One down, one to go.
Sets it down in the alley, walks in. Anyway.
Hopes nobody
Kid.
takes it.
Wow, mister!
Some kid watches you walk in and walk back out. He's pretty amazed. You're like, stop talking to me. It all works out.
Cheaper.
some kid watches you walk in, runs over it, like closes the little like glass door that you use. He's like, I caught a genie.
And then, like,
And then he just opens it in 2
30
seconds.
seconds later. Oh, thanks for holding my lantern, child.
Have a nice night.
Dreams shatter.
Tip him a copper piece. Just, sure.
What just was said is what
I guess
happens.
that was canon now.
I'm tipping the copper for that story.
It's evening.
To the crushed clam.
Mm.
We're at the crushed clam. You guys have gotten there a little bit earlier than usual, maybe just because you were done with things that you were doing throughout the day. But you get set up now. You look like you usually do. You've already gave this guy coins like in the morning time when he very first opened his doors. Whitney, what are you planning on doing? Are you just gonna sit with Paxton while you're drinking like you did last time?
I'll probably start.
Right.
near him.
You were doing well. I remember you did that last time
It's
too.
time to get good at darts.
And then I need to know a little bit more about your plan, Grayson. As far as how are you? What do you actually look like? Because the last time you were here, you just illusioned up a weapon. Are you planning on doing that again?
I think I'm carrying a staff with me and I have my dagger.
I
which
could
looks
also
pretty
just
nice.
lend you my rapier.
You know? But they know you had a rapier. But they're drunk. I think I just have a staff with me.
Okay.
And I have like a nice dagger on my belt. But I basically, my illusion this time is just all my regular armor is just really scuffed up, like I've been on the road. And then my face changes and I've got like a scruffy beard.
Looking like leather or like studded leather armor. But
I
really-
have a leather armor.
Okay, cool. So it's basically your same armor, just more
Yeah,
worn.
I just made it look like I haven't polished it in a while.
No, that makes sense. Alright, sounds good. Well, after a little while, our good friend Wolf comes in and sees you and just immediately sits down and says, Hey! It's been a minute since I've seen you here.
Wolf, sorry, we had to go unexpectedly. I got hired for a little side job.
Who's your friend?
I met him on that job. What was the name that you gave me for this character? For this
They call me
Bob.
Gerald.
This is Gerald.
Gerald.
He's a caravan, or he worked as a caravan guard in the same place where I just got hired for a couple weeks.
Oh, Gerald.
Ah,
Good to see you here.
Gerald,
pleasure.
this is my friend Wolf I was telling you about.
Is he in your confidences?
100%, and he shares our concerns.
Dude, I want to let you know, my friends have been talking to friends, and I think that at this point we've gathered and met with here about 20 people that we have visiting here.
We're gonna rabble rouse, guys.
please roll for rabble rouse.
I'm building a MLM for rabble rousing. If each of your friends rouse 20 rabbles, then you can become. Anyway.
You get the next promotion!
Only they rabble rouse.
By the end of the year, you could be making 100,000 gold per day.
100,000 rabble rousers per hour.
Anyway, he says it that way and says, right about 20. Now, I can't say that they'll all come, and there could be more that come.
course.
But we had 20 last time, and we've been waiting for you to come back. We're ready for something.
All right. Well, I've been while I was gone, we were thinking. We want to do something that'll get their attention, let them know that we're unhappy.
Yeah.
But that sorry, Paxton, the person, is having word problems today.
Me too.
Serious. All right. So we want to do something that'll get their attention, let them know that we're unhappy, but that doesn't necessarily hurt any innocent bystanders or anything, so that we get in like minimum trouble for maximum impact. You know what I'm saying? So I think the best way to get the attention of lots of people is theater over. There's lots of people there. There's lots of entrances and exits. There's crowds we can blend into. It's not too far from your own home turf. So we can just like disappear, get behind safe the estate walls if we have to. Like, I think it's perfect.
Yeah, I see that. We could have a lot of people looking at us.
Mm-hmm. And it wouldn't be too hard to just get whatever message we wanted out. Now, obviously, whether or not they are, holy or whatever, obviously they have power through their faith or whatever, but it comes down to the bottom line. Powerful people, powerful organizations, they speak the language of money. And so, doing things that will cost them money will get their attention. That means property damage. That means, whatever kind of looting or rioting. Something. I mean, obviously, you guys are at the most risk because you actually live here. So it's kind of up to you guys to decide where you draw the line.
If we want to be taken seriously, this is what we gotta do.
Right. But, we just gotta do it in the smartest way possible. You say you can get 20 guys?
Maybe.
Right. You think you can... There were 20 guys who met. Usually, from what I've seen, the rule is that you can count on there being about a quarter as many people who say they believe in a thing to really act. So, by the law of averages, we can expect around 5 people. Maybe up to 10 if we're, really careful.
I know I'll be there.
Mm-hmm.
I know Randall, Enel, and Gellius will be there.
Mm-hmm.
And I would think at least one of each of their friends. So I think... Yeah. And he looks like he lost track of his fingers for a second.
We'll probably have 7 or 8.
7 or 8.
Plus you can count on me for sure.
9.
9. And my friend Gerald, I think you have to ship out sometime soon, don't you? You never know with the caravan.
If I'm not at the theater, I can be there at the market square, set off a couple distractions for you.
Oh, see if we can split up, distract whatever they send to come after the main group.
I'll be leaving. Again, takes a little flack off you, takes a little flack off you. They can follow me.
Yeah.
Just find a new caravan if I need to.
So roll for persuasion real quick.
Yeah, we're gonna have to. Oh man, I'm really bad at persuasion.
I'm really good at persuasion.
I am very good at
He's
deception, though.
Oh.
Everything you've said has mostly not been a lie.
Yeah, what I have, the things that I have said have been true.
Yeah.
Because they're based in real world principles of protest.
I think this one would be persuasion, but he is assisting.
Yeah.
So.
That works for me.
And you already deceived him into thinking you are part of his.
That is a 20. Thanks.
Good to go.
Thanks to Gerald's help.
He nods and he says, "Yeah, and you know what? Not tomorrow, but the next day. They've got they're playing the Fall of the Devil King."
Oh, that's...
It always brings crowds.
Oh, I bet. And, would be perfect. Perfect time to stand up and make a statement, you know. Just because there are devils doesn't mean that, like, everyone who isn't one of your sheep is also a devil. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't like devils.
No, nobody likes devils, but also, like...
Sorry. Yeah. Yeah, because we're not devils.
Yeah, we're not devils. We're not wolves, but we're not the sheep either. We're like... Sorry, I can't say it. I can't take myself seriously if those words come out of my mouth, even in an RPG.
Now, what word were you
we're
going to use?
shepherds?
I was going to say, like, we're the sheepdogs, but that's...
A phrase that would resonate really well here would be lions, because
Yeah.
all of the highest. It would resonate. It would resonate.
Because the
it would-
lion is a sacred animal to, what's his name?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so it would resonate in two ways. But anyway, it would resonate in two ways. The first being that it would be like putting this guy on the same level as some of the highest military people, and as well as it was a symbol
Yeah.
for the.
So yeah.
But yeah,
I'd probably say, like, you know, we're like lions, you know.
yeah, you already persuaded him extremely well. He nods and he says, "Yeah, I'll get him ready. I'll start talking to him. Should I bring him back tomorrow? I'll see who will come. I'll tell him exactly what the
Absolutely.
plan
and
is."
Like, try to get everybody here because, like, everybody can show up and have some drinks. We can all, like, you know, support each other, and then everybody who's courageous enough to still go through with it can just come. Like, but anybody who doesn't feel like it can be like, no pressure, just stay here, have another drink. You know, like,
Yeah.
we just all have to support each other. That's the thing.
I'll get him. I'll get him tomorrow. He waves and says, "Bring some drinks." And he actually puts a silver on the table.
Ooh, that's enough drinks for, like, everybody for a round.
And he says, "This one's on me. You've paid enough."
Well, all right.
I
am.
One little missy. Are you wanting to roleplay more with Wolf tonight?
I don't have anything else I wanted to bring up. Though I don't know, I did convince Wolf enough. I might try to give him a book at some point. Except that I don't know if I... No, I think that the process before giving people a book is a lot. Like, gotta make sure that I 100% trust them, because, you know, once you know people's names, to start sending them letters, that's a lot harder to...
Yeah. Makes sense.
But we have some good drinks, and I just, you know, I start slipping in some little, like, truisms in with our toasts. There we go.
Perfect. That sounds great. All right. So from there, then we're gonna go back to the. There's going to be a scene before you guys go to bed, real quick. Here. Now, once you guys get back, Krog is sitting in the main wing with Calariel and Arian, whatever her name is. I say like I didn't make.
Calariel,
I know.
Daryl. I have just Daryl.
It might be Nero then.
Anyway.
But oh yeah, it's definitely a Nero. It has an A before it, but otherwise it's a Nero.
Oh, on Daryl.
But the three of them are sitting at the table, and And Nizam is laying down on the ground next to them, just doing sit. But when you guys walk in, Krog, what?
So buzzed.
Krog sees you all and just says, I've got a question for you.
I've got an answer for you.
I'm mimicking your.
Are you still like dressed
think
up
I-
as a sellsworld, or did you drop
I
that?
probably like dropped it,
Cool, okay.
but I'm pretty wasted.
But yeah, he gestures to all of you in general. He says, have you ever kidnapped someone?
Yes.
Yes.
You have? Wait, all of you have?
Well,
anyway.
It was
We
like
did it together, didn't we?
We did the one kidnapping together. I have done a few kidnappings before that, though.
I've only napped 2 kids. Wait, they weren't kids.
I should hope they weren't
not,
kids.
Not children, but we have kidnapped.
I draw the line at children.
Draw a lot of line.
He's Krog says, okay. I wasn't quite expecting that response. But it's perfect. We actually we found out that Zeta spoke to one elf in particular at the guard's outpost, and he'll be able to tell us what we need to know about what information they gave him. Then we can decide what to do with him after. We followed him home. We know where he is. But we haven't done anything. We know where he works and where he lives. But we're not really sure how to go about kidnapping someone. We have muscle. We can get, pretty acrobatic. But that doesn't really help us kidnap anyone.
How soon do you need it done?
Well, we need to
Like,
find out
tonight,
before the heist, so
tomorrow?
we either need to do it. Need to do it pretty quick.
Probably
It could be
not
tonight,
if
it could
we're
be
doing the
tomorrow.
thing tomorrow.
Let me go splash some cold water on my face. And, somebody run to the kitchen for the strongest tea they've got.
Gotcha.
Tea.
Do you want
gun.
some?
How sloshed do you guys think you actually were?
My character's pretty sloshed.
I want you to
only
roll-
drank the one.
Yeah, so you're totally fine. I want you to roll a Constitution check really quick, and I want you to roll. How much do you think you would have drank?
I think I drank less than he did, but still enough.
You
that
rolled a 4?
I rolled a 3. If
And
I
then-
add my Constitution, it's +1. I can't hold my liquor.
You have a level of exhaustion.
Yeah.
I think I drank less than him, but I think I should probably still roll.
Roll, but you'll have a
maybe
lower,
with
DC.
advantage or a lower DC.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, or just do it with advantage. That's fine. I don't care. It doesn't really matter. I'll leave it at the same DC as his, but you have advantage. Ultimately, it's the same thing.
Either way, it's about the same, depending on how much lower you would have made the DC.
Yeah. I mean, really, here. Let's just see what happens.
23.
I don't think you have any problems. Once you drink your tea and get things going, you're fine.
I get him a large cup of water and a tea
That's,
as well.
I was buzzed. He was sloshed.
that's fine.
That's what happened.
I'm like actively taking a nap. In mid conversation.
You
You
know
don't
what
even
one level
have
of
to
exhaustion
sleep.
does, right?
Huh?
It's disadvantage on ability checks and saves.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Or is it just check?
I think it's checks.
just checks,
Okay.
not saves. But so that's where we're at. That's all. That's the only disadvantage you're going to have for being sloshed today.
Just one level
Yeah.
of exhaustion.
I don't have to sleep. I am.
He's still going to have it even if he
Drink
drinks that
this.
stuff. But
But it's fun to role play that.
yeah,
It just like spills. It's not like.
Oh come on.
you're right. I'm probably pushing away the roleplay a little bit. My bad. Not trying to. But after you get all
It's
taken
like
care
half
of,
spilled.
she gets you to drink most of it anyway. What doesn't land on your shirt. Now you didn't fail the dexterity check to drink it.
Yeah,
you know, right?
I'm
it
just
didn't-
sleepy. It's like I haven't slept in
He hasn't
years,
slept
guys.
in years.
and everyone else, you don't need to.
That's true. I don't.
Oh man.
And I
Anyway,
probably only sleep for like an hour, and then I'm like,
Should we take our break before we get into this?
Let's kidnap a
Not
guard.
quite.
Okay.
So
I have bad time sense, so I just kind of.
I have an okay time sense with where I'm planning to stop. But
Okay.
so what they're gonna take you there. Right now, they know that this guard is on his shift, but will be ending his shift soon. So they take you guys to the nicer residential houses. Point to the house and say he's going to be coming to this house, but probably not for the next hour or so. We have a little bit of time.
It's good because
Yeah, so if we want to plan what we want to do, I mean, there are, and they look around, 7 of us. And there's only 1 of him, and we have a Nizam.
does he live with?
Not that we could tell. He's a bit of a higher ranking. He's not any of the highest rankings by any means, but he's a little bit higher than just an average soldier. It seems like he's made a career of his life to the point that he hasn't gone the family way. If there is someone that lives with him, then we might want to do it without sound though, because this is still a residential area and the nicer part of town. Guards care a little bit more.
That's fair. Do we still have any of that powder?
Cough and sneeze and choke.
I was thinking sleep.
Oh, did we ever have some of that? I don't remember. I don't have it written down.
I don't think so.
You're the one who got all the prizes, so you should have
Yeah,
written
no.
them down.
So that's not something that we got like recently, but like, is it something that we have on hand
that
from
we might
prior
have.
experience?
I don't think so.
No, because that would have been in our, but we could have time to try to locate something.
Got an hour.
So
Or
we gotta-
maybe an hour.
We have to be quiet. I don't know how useful I'm gonna be honest. But
It'll be fine.
I am not doing amazing.
I gotta tell you, I have a lot of magic in my
I'm
pocket.
so lit.
And this kind of magic, I can make a distraction down the road that will be a lot louder than you guys.
I can send you a signal if we needed. We
yeah.
can have talks. Just promise me you won't fall asleep while you're
Oh.
waiting.
I don't need to sleep anymore. I just need everything
I
to
know
stop
you don't
hurting.
need to. Can we buy a fantasy aspirin? Some willow bark or aspen bark or something?
Is there a apothecary?
It's pretty late.
Will that
Most businesses are
apothecary
gonna be
sell
closed.
us some?
I
I
might
thought it
sell
was
us
just-
some like poppies or.
Oh, no, let's not do poppies. Not for a hangover.
Right.
No, that wasn't for him.
Oh, okay. I see.
That was for the rest of the party, so you guys can be as wasted as.
No.
No, literally, I'm down to do whatever you guys need me to do, but just realize I got some illusions in my pocket if we need it,
Mm-hmm.
and I can move pretty fast if I. Do we want to check his residence real quick to make sure he lives here? Are we at his house?
Yeah.
No lights on.
No candlelight. There's a brief light that you can. It looks like it's a hearth fire. The general continuous flame. The Krog says we've already sent someone up to check the windows. I threw them up earlier today. It looks like it's only a residence for one person.
Is this a take and shake? Or.
Or a steak and shake.
Yeah.
Wait.
We need information. That's all I know. You guys are the kidnapping experts here.
Well, you only gave us an hour, okay?
Do we want to try to get the information without kidnapping him first?
How would you recommend we do?
He can do whatever you think's best. All I know is that he has the information and we need it.
I definitely think kidnapping should be on the. Like, if I can't get the information, but literally, if I just pretend to be Zeta, super drunk, and just try to see what I told him or what she told him.
Want?
I don't know how convincing I'll be, but We can try it, and then he goes into his house and we kidnap him if I don't get the information.
What was Zeta's stature in comparison to Vincent's stature?
Vincent, what's your stature?
I'm like 6.
Quarter.
But he can
How
magically
much
change his
shorter?
own appearance.
Yeah, I can
But
change within like a
magically
foot.
changing your appearance can only change it up to like a foot. So if she's like 4 foot, it's not gonna.
I think he probably could.
Let's double check this.
I'm not sure that anyone specifically measured Zeta,
I guess that's fair.
but I'm sure that he could probably make it at least be pretty close if he wanted.
Unless this guy's trying to pat me on the head, we should be fine. Ow. Disguise self. I can seem 1 foot shorter or taller, and appear thin or fat or in between. So it is within 1 foot. And I can get close enough with that.
I think it would be close enough to her height. I don't think
Okay.
that she was under 5 feet. she's a tiefling. She is. I think she was short in stature, but I don't think under 5 feet. Maybe close to 5 feet though. So you might be a couple inches off. Doesn't matter that much. I don't.
So
think.
Krog, you were thinking about kidnapping. Before you talked to us, did you come up with any kind of a safe location to take this person, this kidnappee?
I know a couple places by the wharf that we can go to. But do you have a better plan? A better place?
I wanted to make sure that we had a place.
Yeah. If we can get him there silently, I know a place by the wharf.
Okay. I would like to attempt a skill check to get a hold of something that we can use to make this kidnapping thing some kind of a like Whitney mentioned, like a dust of like a sleep spell kind of, or a yeah.
I was
Right.
thinking like
Does
a magical chloroform.
Does this rag smell like chloroform to you, sir? Excuse me, guard. I think there's something wrong with my wash water. Will you smell this rag and tell me if it's chloroform?
Yep, it smells like chloroform. Yep, that's it. You can take it away.
1 second. Go ahead and roll. Let me see what your roll is first before I make decisions in my head.
That's fair. Well, I only rolled a 2 on the d20. And, of course, depending on what kind of skill we're talking about,
Maybe investigate.
if it were investigation, I am far too dumb to be good at it.
I don't think you'd be able to find anything, especially at night,
Yeah.
with the short notice that was
Yeah,
given.
I can't think of anything based on.
Yeah.
Okay,
And as the DM, neither can I.
that's fair. If we had thought ahead of time, maybe Merrick could have pointed us to a guy, but
Merrick or even Rolf, maybe. But,
yeah.
Or, frick, even on that case, Bill or Syken. But
They've been all over the town. They know everybody here now.
We could just do
I could just stab
whack
him.
him really hard on the head.
Good.
Nizam is pretty good at that.
I'm not bad
Or
at it
there's a
myself.
chokehold. You just don't choke.
All the way to. Anyway, yeah.
I'm up for whatever.
You don't have any magic that can help us just make him hold still?
You wouldn't happen to have whole person, would you?
Or sleep?
or sleep or anything else. Like,
Arm person? Or.
The best way to ambush
I got
him
a lot
would
of illusions.
probably be to already be in his.
Frog says, you could even interrogate him there, maybe.
Yeah, we probably could. As long as we kept him quiet.
Really, we don't need a kidnapping, we need an interrogation, I guess.
As long as he has a basement, I'd be fine with that.
I'm not sure if they have basements. this close to the ocean.
We also,
Oh, I haven't been this years.
if we interrogate him, we gotta make sure it doesn't lead back to a bunch of us. So, if we're interrogating, going to
He's on.
when he's on, you are very recognizable. Probably shouldn't be in the room. But we'll need you close at hand in case.
I can hit him.
Yeah, we'll need you close at hand in case we need to hit him. But don't
you
be
have to like
seen.
stay behind him.
Okay. I'll
Effect-
stay behind him.
The rest of us can look undistinct. Lose some of your like accentuated clothing, like.
I left my scarf
Oh.
at.
Fair enough. I don't say that.
In, probably.
Mm-hmm.
We all
And
kind
I
of probably
probably
came in drab
changed,
clothing. but-
yeah, into
Okay.
my black.
Grog says, if we keep a camera candle, if we keep a candle right in his face, he's light blinded.
That's true.
That's
If
good.
we stay behind
That's a.
far enough in the
Yeah.
darkness.
Alrighty. Well, we're gonna have to break into his house at some point, so I would like to roll to pick the lock.
Aww. You can do it.
You can assist.
You could do it and I could assist. I wouldn't mind. I
You
have
said it first.
I have rolled dice more than you have today.
Whitney, it's your turn to roll the
Okay, I'll
shiny
roll.
What
math
did the
rocks.
gloves do?
Here, I will help.
Thank you.
We're falling.
Womp
Goodbye,
womp.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye, viewers. Have a nice night.
We're back.
Kind of.
And we're hello.
Back-ish. Oh no! You guys can be sideways for the night.
I'm sorry. Failed you.
I failed you.
What do the gloves do? Sorry.
They give a bonus to this kind of a thing, if I recall
Plus
correctly.
5.
Oh no.
Gloves of thieving. Where's the DMG?
I got it.
The damage.
Okay.
Gloves of You get a +5 bonus to dexterity, sleight of hand checks, and dexterity checks made to pick lock.
A plus what?
+5.
An additional +5.
The 20s.
I think you succeeded.
Mm-hmm.
You look at this lock and you're just like, oh, I've seen these before. And then your fingers feel extra dexterous as you're wearing the gloves, and you open it without a problem.
Real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want me to approach him as Ida?
Yeah, just
Okay.
distract him a little bit, like as he's on the street. Make sure that he's like looking at your cleavage or something.
I'm like, okay. Probably do that. I remember her showing a lot.
It
though.
doesn't have to be literal. I just mean like
Ah, yeah. You want to link up with me?
Yep. We've got 3 hours of telepathic communication.
We are thoroughly linked.
What area was he coming from? Do we know, or do we not exactly?
The cul-de-sac. He can only come in from one side. What? No.
You guys know what area he's coming from, but I
Yeah.
didn't specify.
I probably like get into her, the Zeta form, and I'm like sitting there like playing
Mm-hmm.
with a kitchen knife as I'm like waiting to see him.
That sounds good. We're gonna go ahead and pause here. That's where we're gonna have our break. I don't think I'm gonna fix the camera because I can't fix it without it being on this screen. So you guys are just gonna be slightly
It is just-
angled.
It's just naturally tilted. We
Look,
Level it.
this is what you guys look like right now.
Oh, that's what I usually look
I
like.
like it.
It's just at a different angle.
It's
than
for the
usual.
slosh.
It
version,
looks
right?
like I'm
So-
weighing us down and we're tilted because of it.
Whatever. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and go on break. We'll be back in about 15 or so. Alright, and we're back. Yay!
Hi.
Play Fire Emblem more. We did not fix the camera.
We did not fix the camera.
Nope.
I thought
Hello.
about it
Hello, camera. You are not fixed.
before we.
I'm not terribly worried about it, but
If you're worried about it, leave a comment. And don't forget to hit like and subscribe.
that's right, everyone. I saw earlier that there is 82% of watching viewers who aren't subscribed. That's something that I need to say out loud and then ask you to subscribe, because if you're watching our content, then subscribe. Anyway,
If
though,
you don't, who will?
only you can subscribe to. Anyway, we left off with you guys basically having a slight plan as to what you're going to do with this city.
But we are entirely unprepared.
I look like Zeta, and I'm waiting for an elf guard.
I am lurking in the dark inside of his house.
Yeah, it seems like is everyone waiting inside his house? Was that the plan, except for him, or is there some people outside? Or
I don't know. I just know that I'm waiting inside. I'm not a leadership type.
I also am waiting.
I think everyone's inside but
Except for
you.
And I have a communication link with him, so
Yeah.
we're good.
I can give people signals based on what you're telling us.
Perfect. It's only about 20 minutes after you guys get everything all taken care of and situated, and he's standing, where you see a man dressed in a guard's outfit walking around in the direction you were expecting him to come from. You recognize this guy.
Oh. Oh.
do you send anything my way telepathically?
Remember, we need him alive. My first thought at you.
Of course, we're just gonna. We need to talk to him for sure.
Yeah, you're not gonna want to just talk to him, but
But
I send like the image of his face.
I don't know if we can do that.
If
I think it's
Yeah.
only words.
Yeah, we can.
I try to send the image of his face, and I'm like, don't kill him immediately.
Error.
You get an error message. So I'm just gonna...
You send me a little ASCII of it.
Page cannot be found.
Anyway,
What did you have a name for him?
no.
No. He was just one of the he remembers him as one of the soldiers under the commanders.
I flag him down. I'm like I have.
Officer.
Like, do you remember me? Do
You?
you remember me?
How did you find my residence?
Not that hard. You don't really change your paths. You don't hide your trails.
What do you want?
I just want to know if you thought about what I talked about earlier already.
What's there to think about?
Hoping you. Because I might have some valuable information for you. And I just want to know if you're willing to. And then I can make the money sign.
Like a little.
Yeah. I'd send that to you real quick. I wish.
Me too, but that's the whole point
Yes.
of.
Then we won't have to do this.
He like just stares at you and says, "As we spoke about, you can speak with Reynard when he gets into town."
It'd be much easier if you could solve my financial issue. Waiting for. But if I have to, is he?
You do.
Yeah. Is he still walking or is he stopping?
He stopped talking
Mhm.
to you. impatiently, but is just stopped talking.
When was he coming into town again? The 2 days, 3 days?
He's expected in 2 now.
And,
But it could be more. 3. Waiting 2 days, waiting 3, what's the difference to you?
not much. I guess I'll be compensated in the end.
Where's your friends? He says, looking around the houses.
Alright. Well, and I start to walk from where he came. They're around.
Where are you guys? Distracted. Offer him a drink. Ask him for a drink. Something.
You started walking away.
And like,
After you started walking away, you see that he put his hand on his sword when he started walking forward.
I want to cast a minor illusion of her compatriot's voice from up further ahead. Like,
Away from his house?
yeah. And like, that was quick. That kind of like, that statement.
Okay. Are you looking at him or anything, or just doing that?
I do that at the thing. I like make like a motion towards it, and then I walk down like an alley between houses.
I want you to roll deception.
I didn't have disadvantages. This would be great.
I forgot about your drunken disadvantage. Let's see how well you hold a fake conversation with yourself.
That's a 17. So I get a +8. So I got a 16.
Even drunk. Kind of as you said, you're half paying attention back at him. You see him relax and his hand move. You see him approach the door, and you guys hear someone approach the door.
Get ready. We're gonna have to grab him.
Now, really quick, and I'm asking the people who unlocked the door, did you lock it?
Yes.
I 100% watched the door.
I assumed, but...
It's good to... Yeah.
Good to check.
Mhm.
Yes, we did relock it once we got inside.
Locked it
I don't
even
like-
better than it was.
I don't
before.
like making assumptions as the DM, but I do need to ask some questions that might
I
sound...
honestly feel as though it's better to assume that the players or that the characters are competent.
I generally do, but I prefer to also
it's-
ask, because
Because
sometimes
maybe it
it's...
was part of our plan.
You
to-
never know. Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
you wanted it unlocked. I don't know. But anyway.
Make him feel unsecure.
Yes, excellent.
Put him on his guard.
As planned. He unlocks the door and walks in. What is the plan here? For you all that are in the house. You two. Did you make any discussion of what was supposed to happen, really?
Yeah, blitz attack.
Then that's exactly what happens.
And
I'm sitting in an armchair.
You're
Watching
doing
the door.
What's her name in Atlantis? When I don't remember. Anyway.
Yes.
You spin
yes.
and
You
turn
do
in
one
the
of
chair
those
and you go,
things.
"Hello."
I came down the chimney. Ho ho ho.
He opens the door and sees you. Are you where
I have
he
my
would see
hood
you?
up. I am where
Jesus.
he can.
Sees you down the way.
And I punch him. With a,
This is
with
going to be
weapon.
I mean, I know there's not technically a surprise round, but here's our surprise round because he's
It's-
surprised, so everyone else gets to do
Yeah,
things.
it's
Um,
a round of combat during which he has the surprised condition.
you
Which is
you
functionally the
see
same as
him when he
surprise
opens the door. There's enough
Yeah.
light to see his face. You hit.
Do you want us to all,
is ready
all
to
roll
hit.
initiative, or
I'm not sure yet.
do you want us to all make our attacks?
I want you all to make your attacks first because I'm not sure initiative is going to be necessary with the
We
amount of
borrow
people
a
punching this guy.
D20 because. So I just, by the way, I did double check the rules. 5th edition is very kind, and it just says, if you reduce someone's HP to 0, you can just choose to knock them out.
Yeah.
So just let's see. That is that's a 15 to hit from me.
15 to hit. Okay. And you're outside, not really doing it, right? Go ahead.
If they let me know he enters, because I walk like around the corner. As soon as they let me know he enters, I'm gonna like walk back to the house.
I need to check one because I wasn't thinking about it earlier, and I should have been.
Oh, sneak attack. Like what? The crap kind of
Sneak
damage is that?
attack. Favorite foe. Swiper.
Yeah, you're blasting this boy with a fist
I
full
do
of
need to check one thing really quick here, but I'm not so sure I even really need to.
fist of napalm.
But give me a second.
Not often is an unarmed strike.
When I said punch him, well, no, actually, no, I would actually use my mind blade. When I said punch him, I meant I was going to finish it, punch him, a magic sharp
That makes sense.
I conjured out of my, but you know,
It's just habit.
just have it. Punch
You
him,
know, whenever you need to hit somebody, you're just like blade, boom,
punch it.
blade, boom, blade, boom. It's not often that you're like, oh,
Blade punch,
I need to
blade
actually punch
punch.
this guy.
$21
Plus,
plus my dex.
Is that your damage already if you hit?
24 on my first hit. I can still make an offhand attack. That one won't get a... No, well, actually, I can't make an offhand attack if I used... Technically, I would have had to use my bonus action to say he is my favorite foe, if all correctly. And either way, I wouldn't have gotten sneak attack on my... If it decided it wanted something resembling balance for how much damage rogues can put out versus others. But anyway, yeah, 24.
I say yeah, so I've decided that you do.
Okay.
With the situation that we're in, yours is 24.
Mhm.
slow motions of Nizam and you.
He looks dazed, but he's still standing. Everyone
Yeah.
roll for.
Oh, was anybody else going to get an attack during our...
Sorry, you can attack. I did all of it for so Nizam hit him
I
in the
see.
face.
So Nizam hit him.
Yeah, Nizam hit him. Krog hit him. The elves did not actually hit him.
Mhm.
Whitney, you were just sitting in the
Whoa.
chair. Were you hitting him?
I
I'm
will
like, waiting for
move
you
forward and hit him.
You're just gonna like run forward after everyone else. Okay, so you can
I
have a surprise round.
actually have
or a-
to stab him.
to with the knife.
Okay, you can use fists if you want to, but it's weapons that you. So that's your preferred weapon, but you can still use your fists without there being.
Okay, then I will punch him.
Okay.
Because I don't want to.
Grayson did not hit him.
No, that's my initiative.
Oh, that's your initiative.
Grayson wasn't gonna. hit him.
I'm waiting for the signal. I'm like,
I see.
when are they gonna tell me he's done?
I say now at the same time
Do
as
I
swing.
get advantage on?
Yeah.
He does. He has the
You will get
surprise
advantage.
conditions. That's a 16 on both of them.
Yeah, we'll count that as a hit.
You return your dice that I. Yeah, okay.
Plus 7.
That should hit.
You already said it hit.
You did hit, yeah.
Okay.
Plus 4.
That is 16.
Okay.
With your first attack.
You can
Oh,
attack
yeah.
again.
Got a flurry of blows.
Oh, full on
Just
flurry of
so-
blows.
two
Okay,
more
so you get 2
attacks.
more attacks.
Do I get advantage both times?
Yeah,
This
you
is
get
a
advantage the
surprise.
whole time, so
He still has the surprise condition.
you're good on
That's
that
the
one.
25 to hit.
And then one more time. Oh, I mean, you can. Sorry. You can roll your damage.
Another 6 damages.
That's 26.
And 8 damage.
He is still up. But it looks like. You know, in those. Do you guys watch any boxing much? When you see the guy take a hit and he briefly goes limp, but catches himself? That's what it looked like. So it looks like this guy has definitely taken some punches before, or some of them just kind of like grazed him but didn't quite
He's
hit him.
Wearing his armor. Still,
And he is wearing his
Human
armor, so
shit.
some of them you probably hit his armor and it didn't actually directly affect him. But between all of you and Nizam's punch, like it was a pretty good knock in general, and your punches too.
Someone cover.
We've got another. Where we get
And
to
now we roll for initiative
roll
to see if
initiative
he even
for-
gets to do anything. You already rolled yours. Yours is 3.
11. 5 plus you.
4.
That's
So
a
you have a
9.
9. So
Well,
11,
that was
9,
not very
3.
good.
That was not the best rolls, everyone.
No, it wasn't.
So it does go. It goes Nizam Krog, you, and then it's the other guy's turn. So we'll get to that point,
Yeah.
and then
Because if he gets to yell, then
Then
that
other things
changes
might happen.
things.
so we're gonna go those 3 turns first. So Nizam basically just immediately throws another punch, and no, okay, you can have advantage. Everyone's gonna get advantage for this. He does hit with that one, and I got. It doesn't look like it knocks him out though. It's gonna go to Krog's turn. Advantage. Krog just misses when he tries to hit him, and that's gonna bring it to you. Now it does look like he is only just standing on it.
Let's hope we can fix that.
This is gonna be the. If it hits, you should be good. If not,
On hand, I mean, that's a 26 to hit.
yeah. How are you knocking him out? I see the dice in
With
your
a
hand.
handful of dice. So the first one I did, I guess it doesn't matter. We all blitz him, and then I end with just a really quick, decisive, just punch right to his temple.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah. Do you have your mind blade active with that punch to his
yeah.
temple?
So
Technically,
my whole fist would be like surrounded
all,
by this
all
shadowy,
swirly,
like,
glowy, or
yeah, swirly anti-glowy or whatever. Yeah.
cool.
It doesn't. Yeah.
Sure, that sounds good.
Yeah, I like that. And it just lays him out.
Yeah, he just falls. You hear the metal of his armor just like you hear that, but that's the main sound. Other than like the general grunts he was making, nothing crazy. Nothing that would be crazy loud. Other than like the metal hitting the ground was the loudest thing that happened. And it might not have even actually hit the ground.
Yeah, we
I think
might
that
all
you
be standing
half,
close
you like
enough that
half
we're all
caught
like,
him.
"Oh."
even. Like I think maybe his arm hit the ground or something, and that's the loudest noise.
He dropped his half-drawn sword.
Something. Yeah.
I come walking in. I'm like, oh, that worked quite well. Good job, guys.
Nizam just picks him up like it's nothing. Like over his shoulder, just picks him up and
So,
walks him in.
I make sure the door gets unlocked.
Do we want to do it here? I guess we're locking the door.
Well, we can
He
leave. I
doesn't-
just for
we could.
now.
I would rather go someplace where we're less likely.
If he wakes up and starts yelling, we can gag him and I can create an illusion to get us to one of those. You said a warehouse nearby? I can create an illusion over us. Sure.
They nod, and Krog just says, "You just make it look like a burlap sack."
Should be
Yeah.
able to.
I was thinking more creative, but sure.
Yeah, so
Could do a rug.
right now he's just holding.
We could literally just roll him in one of his rugs.
He's basically just holding him by his legs and like over his shoulders with his head back.
I'm gonna change some of your facial features too, if you don't mind, but kind of hide you a little bit.
Okay.
So I cast Major Image. And I make a scene of... We can put him in a rug, and then I make that into a set, and I make our good friend Nizam look not like Nizam at all.
Just look like a random porter. that you
Probably a
saw
good
there.
thing.
He is not a good-looking man anymore.
Just too
How
bad.
much are you able to change his height and stuff, or how does that work?
I think I'm keeping him...
because he's ridiculously large in
So
most
this
aspects.
is major image,
It's
right?
major image,
This is a
yes.
So-
3rd level spell.
So it's just an illusion layered on top of where we
Okay.
changing what we look.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I can't even make it follow us. Oh, as the image changes locations, you can alter its appearance. So I can make it look.
Yeah. So it doesn't change voices or anything. Just image, but you can make him look like pretty much whatever, or you can make the scene look like pretty much whatever.
And I'm mostly just putting it on Nizam and the person he's carrying. And I might make sounds or stuff later, because I can make sounds in it.
Okay.
But it's in a 20-foot square around, or cube around.
So he's
that.
definitely good. Yeah. Okay.
Mm.
He looks like whatever the heck you want him to look like.
Looks like a big burly. I think I'm making him more humanoid and ugly.
There's really no suspicion as you guys are
Mhm.
walking. It does take a little while because you're not really right on the wharf.
And I'm
Talia, do you want to like clean up the scene and follow us? Because you're the fastest. You're a really good burglar.
I can do that.
I'm also keeping the Zeta face on as we're walking.
All right.
Hood up. Let's go.
Everyone walks with their hoods up and burlap sacks on everyone. And...
My hood's not up.
Yeah, oh, well, you're,
Zeta's
you're trying
face is
to be
out.
seen, yeah. Cool. You guys go do all that stuff. Giddy up, cowboy, whatever. Don't even know what I'm saying. You guys get to this warehouse. It's on the wharf. It is not far from.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, I give you a telepathic link to just tell you where we're going as we go.
Good idea. Man, good job.
Woo! That one will last for 4 hours. It'll be plenty of.
More than enough time. You guys, he gets you there eventually, and it is seriously just like it's a warehouse, and it's got a bunch of like boxes that are mostly shattered with really nothing in them, like hay and straw and half decayed hay and straw that's been like wet and stuff. It doesn't smell completely awful, but it does not smell good.
Okay.
But once you guys get in there, Nizam just puts the guy against one of the half-broken boxes, and Krog says, "Should we tie him to the box?"
They're
Box stable?
They look, not really a pull, no.
You can just tie his arms behind his back and...
You could have caught up to us.
You would have
in the
caught
ti-
up.
like,
You have a
and-
much higher speed than anyone.
That's,
You
that's
probably
true.
would have caught up, even
Okay.
with.
And push comes to shove, you could probably literally fly a shortcut.
Also,
But
Yeah,
you're
it's
there.
dark.
There's no reason for you to not be there.
Mm.
So you just have him tied up, arms behind his back tied up, and legs tied up. I don't know.
For now, yeah. Maybe tie him like to some of the like shrapnel.
Yeah, so
The
some of the
shattered
boxes still
boxes.
look pretty sturdy. It looks like someone just like was busting in. Is what it
Mm.
looks like on a.
If there is a sturdy box, then I say we definitely tie.
It doesn't look like it's been abandoned for more than 5 years. Like,
Yeah.
just saying, but it just looks like it's no longer in use. Mostly.
Left his sword at his house, you think?
I
You guys.
don't see why we should. Like,
Well, we take it from his body
like
then.
if he just disappears, then.
Fair enough.
If he disappears and leaves the sword behind, that's way more suspicious than
Probably unconscious for a while. I'll probably take off like his
like,
breastplate and
24
stuff.
hours.
Okay.
Yeah, so before we like super tie him up, I will strip him of most of that stuff.
Sounds great to me. Yeah, you guys are waiting for him to wake up for a while unless you do something to actively wake him up at some point. But
While he's unconscious and like before we tie him up, we probably like off all of his armor.
Yep.
I put both of his feet in a bucket of water, very cold water.
Yeah.
Get a look at his face and ask somebody to go get ice into the bucket of water. We have a car battery.
Once we've got him like situated, got ourselves situated, I will probably splash water at him.
Okay, and Nizam is. You said you wanted Nizam to be right behind him, basically.
Yeah.
Wherever he is,
Out of
Nizam's
sight.
right behind him, out of sight.
So
Okay.
if he's standing like to the side of the crate, like if he can't turn his head to the crate, like that's fine.
Okay.
That big.
They're like they're shipping crates, large shipping crates, so they probably carry.
Before we handle all of this, I think we probably have a. I imagine that you are probably the best person to be an interrogator.
What do we?
Right?
Yeah, since he can
Because
change
you
his
have
face.
well, and you have an absurd charisma bonus. And
Yes.
you're probably proficient in the main thing you use.
Yeah,
I might not be the best at this time though. I am exhausted.
he does have disadvantage.
You are drank. Oh, that's true.
So maybe I'm just sitting there as
so that-
Zeta
that-
in the background.
Okay, so yes, in that case, I guess I have to do it.
Oh no!
Oh no!
She's charismatic.
I could do it.
Unless you want to take a crack at it,
How charismatic are you?
less than you are probably.
Yeah, a 3, but it depends what we're trying to add.
Yeah, I am much less charismatic.
I don't think
I
she.
can
My
do it.
my stats in general are very not good, actually.
The rest of the people who are with you right now, they have somewhat of a good charisma. Specifically, Calariel and Anariel. They have moderately good charisma that would be about the same. So they could be an option, but
There's this
yeah, and they're all under the
This-
impression that you guys have experience with this.
Yeah.
So
And I want to help you out the best I can, but I like.
you're going to be a looming shadow assisting.
Is there a chair in here?
No, there's no actual.
Okay.
It
Could
looks
just
like
be
this was
sitting on a
mostly just a
crate
storage
behind me.
storage facility.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm like leaning against a crate with Zeta's face on, like, just staring at him as like the candle burns like near his face kind of thing. And then you can talk to him.
All right.
I'm probably like a little like stand down.
Of course, yeah.
Wake him up. Time to wake up.
Yeah.
Wait. Sorry. Before we do that,
Yeah.
what questions do we specifically
Right.
want to ask?
So we want to know what it was that
Oh, I probably gave you guys details that
what's her face was
Yeah.
told him like
What was his name?
exactly.
Reynard.
Yeah. Reynard.
I
think one sec. Let me double check on that. Yeah, Reynard.
so I let you know that he talked about Reynard. Like, so we need to find out what she wanted to do with Reynard, what she was going to tell him, and maybe make it seem like she was going. That probably good. Let him go.
That's pretty much what we. That's what Krog and company wanted us to find out.
Yeah,
at
they're
least.
specifically wanting to know what information he was given by her. If
Did I just let you
I
know?
don't. In that case, I don't know. Data. Write up.
Oh.
It should be seen at
Yeah.
first.
Okay, I can be hidden at first.
Yeah.
Or just not look like her.
Yeah.
I definitely just don't want more people in this. But if you need me to walk in, I will like walk around the crate.
I do
I
think
may have
that,
you walk around
that
the
the
crate
fewer people
later,
in the
but
scene
I
is probably
want
better.
like if he sees you, he may why we're asking for information that he may or may not have shared.
Yeah, so I'll be standing behind the crate, right?
So layout is like he's in the middle of the room with Nizam behind him and Talia in front of him. There's like crates, and probably most of us are just like behind the so that we can hear what's going on, and if we need to, we can step in and help. Okay. Before he wakes up, you guys can tell that I'm acting, and like I keep on like rifling through my backpack.
I already told him to not kill him before we get. I warned him.
Okay, now I wake him up.
You wake him up, he shakes his head. Ugh. What?
Nice way. Give me
Yeah, my head's pounding
Or-
right now.
we can make things difficult. And I pull out my dagger.
It has a red afterglow behind it. What information?
We're approached by a tiefling. You were approached by a what information?
Well, I guess we're doing this the hard way.
That means
I
you
like-
have to roll a skill check.
Alright then.
Are you trying to intimidate him now at this point?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and roll intimidation. And someone,
I think Nizam
Are you-
could probably would assist.
if you want him to be seen.
Well, I mean,
Oh, just
I
like
imagine
heavy
a meaty hand just on the back of somebody's neck
Okay.
is probably pretty.
You can roll with this. You can roll with advantage for sure.
Okay.
Meaty gymnasts.
Yeah,
Str-
extremely
strippy,
strong, extremely large.
Grab his dad.
What'd you get?
Probably a 20.
20.
I'm impressed with his roll, actually.
Oh no.
Yeah, this guy's got. You see him tense, but he basically starts immediately after tensing, he starts chanting a prayer, a well-known prayer that's a consistent prayer, one that's often given, one that's well known and well anyway. It's a well-known prayer in this religion, and it has to do with receiving the strength to endure, basically. But he did seem briefly intimidated. However, he nearly immediately calmed himself with.
I'm gonna like backhand him to interrupt his prayer. And then I'm gonna look to the side, make it look like I'm boss. How
I like make eye contact with you,
do
and
we
I
want to go?
hold up a little like leather tool roll thing that I just pulled out of my backpack.
You happen to know that those are his torturer's tools.
I don't pull them out often.
He is 100% proficient with them, but doesn't use them all the time.
They're for specific people.
Put my hand on the thing real quick. Like, pull out my book and I write under your name, like, ask about Reynard and what Zeta wants with him.
Zeta 1.
Roll for intimidation with advantage. He is resolute in his prayer, and he raises his. You see him raise his eyebrow briefly when you say the name. But other than that, just he.
My dagger.
Oh boy.
And
He probably doesn't have a lot of mechanics right now.
I know. Not just gonna stab him.
Goodbye.
Well, if you're not gonna be.
He's not able to move hardly at all. Nizam is basically holding him stick still.
I probably
know.
won't let you.
Cirrus sends you a little ping. I'm all for helping at this point. Not good help, but it's help.
I like get my dagger up in his face and is the Reinhardt in danger?
Reynard.
Reynard.
Whatever.
No, you're good.
I say it correct in character.
He briefly stops praying, looks at you, and shakes his head. And then continues.
That's a relief. I kind of like take a step back and like walk in a circle. Mutter to myself.
I think that probably Krog and the girls didn't stay in the room, to be honest.
They're probably like keeping watch or something.
Yeah, I think that they're probably
Making
outside.
sure nobody like hears.
Sorry, I was thinking about what they would do, but I think the answer is that they don't feel they have experience with this, and Nizam is just the muscles, so that's why he stayed in. So at this point, I think it's just they think you guys know what you're doing.
Well, I think Cirrus.
I'm not saying you don't. I'm just
Yeah.
saying that they think that you definitely do.
At this point, Cirrus is gonna come out
Mm-hmm.
and like drag, not say anything, drag a box kind of nearby and pull out the tools. And I don't think it's necessary to describe anything in detail.
No.
Just rolling some checks.
The first part here, are you just taking over, and do you want anyone to stay in the room while you're taking?
I think I'll say if anybody would prefer to leave the room while I soften him up, you probably should.
Yeah, I'd probably leave.
Nizam would.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
I will stay. Not because I want to stay, but because I want to keep him from going too far.
Yep.
Okay.
So I start by gagging him, and then I start rolling some skill checks.
Yeah. So the first thing I want you to do, I know you're
Yeah.
not proficient in, but roll with advantage because she's still there for intimidation.
For intimidation.
By rolling them out and playing.
Just
it out.
just for the sake of saying like. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm probably still in the room, but I'm like behind boxes
That
for sure.
that is a 12 intimidation.
That did not succeed. It appears that he is quite resolute, and at this point you can tell that there may have been some sort of training for situations like this in.
Yeah, it makes sense. All right, I'm gonna start rolling.
Go ahead. So this first one,
I think skill
You
checks.
can't assist because I'm not gonna let you.
No.
Yeah.
It's
Alright.
also icky narratively.
Yeah. No, this is what he's doing.
Going to.
Basically alone. So the first thing I want to know here is what information are you trying to torture out of him right now?
So honestly, I think I start with the questions that they're asking.
Okay. Go ahead
Because I can still recognize that my own goals are not the...
go ahead and roll. Gotta think about how.
Like what ability it would be based in?
Well, I think you could do dexterity just fine.
Okay.
But that's not specifically what I was thinking. So I think that it can be a mix between dexterity or intimidation, depending on what you're proficient with.
Oh, just because I'm proficient with the
And
tools, so it'd be like the proficiency bonus for the tools, and then the dexterity for...
Yeah.
Okay, well, so that puts me at 22. If that wouldn't be high enough, I do have class feature 6.
It's high enough for progression.
Okay.
I'm not sure if
We could honestly just have this be a way of me giving him disadvantage on his rolls
we might have to
to
talk about this
resist
later.
intimidation. Because we only barely talked about this. This-
I think that it's what you have done at this point is you've successfully broken him down to the point that his training has left. Kind of an idea. So if you go ahead and roll your intimidate to actually see about getting information out of him after he's done something, and it will definitely.
I was like, a slant.
Which piece are you asking about here? Just because, sorry, what are you asking? You'll have more resistance to some questions than others, because some things are more important to him.
Yeah. So the table talk, we have questions. Who even is Reynard?
Mm-hmm.
What did Zeta tell you?
Mm-hmm.
Those are like the two big.
I feel like the most important is figuring out what information is shared by Zeta.
Mhm.
That's probably what I'm gonna ask. What did she say?
And what did you roll for your intimidation?
18.
18? He's silent for a second, and then looks up and sees you, and just shakes his head and says, Zeta had information about an insurgency or a thief, or she didn't tell me specifically. She said she needed to speak to someone more important.
I think
I'm out of earshot.
Cirrus says out loud, "That's all." Just that he needed someone more important.
Specifically military leaders, no one that's currently in the town. Reynard's been sent. He's one of the heads of Inquisitors.
Find out how soon. I think, Cirrus is just like conversational tone with Dahlia, which feels super gross. We should probably find out when Reynard is going to show up.
Probably. The best way to protect him from her.
Which one's next? That one looks interesting. I haven't used that one in a couple.
Roll.
That's only a 15. I can. Okay.
After a couple minutes of screaming.
Regag.
Yeah. You ask whatever question you want, Whitney. You don't even need to roll.
I creep further away from you guys.
I'm just gonna put that out there.
Exactly when will. However.
Reynard.
expected in 3 days.
Miss Watson. Or just after. Sorry, this is just table talk.
There's a high-ranking official coming.
He did ask for a high ranking. I
Yes, I
am
know.
gonna assume
No.
this.
He's
What I
just
tell him.
breathing heavily while there's blood coming out of his mouth or whatever.
Is that everything we needed him for? I have a question. A few years ago, well, I guess it was a couple more than a few years ago. But, do you remember working with a, Airway Duval?
His eyes widen a little bit and he looks at you. Yes.
There was a little town that you visited. You probably wouldn't remember it. Not the town itself, but do you remember the faces of any of the people you burned alive?
You see him turn away from you and he says, in a broken voice, all and none. There's two.
Do we want to just do a fade to black moment at this point?
Probably, but what's up?
I was just gonna reach my hand out and put it like with my back to the guard. Put my hand on his.
He is fully broken.
We can be
We're
done
going to fade to black
if you
here.
tell me where I can or how to
Oh.
find Duval. There we go.
Where's Duval?
He tells you that it has been years. He says it pretty quickly and in a bit of a panic, but he essentially tells you it's been years since he's seen or worked with Duval. Last he had heard, he had been working in. There. Who had them? The last he had heard, he'd been working in Flosalis, but that was years ago. And that's the last he'd heard.
Well, sailor.
Flosalis. Which I do believe is actually the same location as where the
That's a incident.
technically. But go on.
Yeah. I think we fade to black as Cirrus just says Portia was a healer woman. Felix was a coup. Lelia was only 6.
And then what do you do with him?
I punch
Dump him
him
in
to
the
knock
river.
him back out,
You just knock him out?
and then I think we were just gonna. Oh.
No,
Is that what you were going to do?
That was my
He
plan.
has seen at least 2 of our faces. He must go.
And you guys didn't just.
Mhm.
So where is he going? Or is he going... What is the next step here, everyone?
I say we Dexter him.
Real quick, does it pop in? This is not. I don't think my character would say this, but does it ever pop into your mind that our mind flayer friend?
I did think of that.
Because I don't think my character would do that.
My character 100% would not do that.
But
Whitney had thought of that.
yeah,
But Talia, not
As,
with a million
as,
years.
as a person who is playing a role-playing,
I already
man.
don't like giving humans or like the idea of giving sentient beings to that thing.
Cirrus has gone full dark mode for this scene at least, but he might be too dumb to think of it. I think it crosses his mind, but he's pretty wrathful.
So you three are currently the only ones even close to in.
I'm like, I'm like
You are-
on the
you
edge
are
of
like-
the-
Kind of in the room. You're actually in the room and you're
Yeah.
there.
If you want us to describe it, we could just say that.
Well, I want to just know what
Yeah.
you end up doing. Do you act without
Are we just
her?
killing him?
Are you
I-
just
I-
killing him?
I
are you
act
going
without her
to?
and just. I take a final blow.
a coup de grace.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Uh, he is to the point where that would be fine.
Mhm.
I'm just waiting for you guys to say it's like clear to come
And
back
then
in.
and then I send a message. It's done. I'm gonna be cleaning up for a minute though, so take your time.
What do
I-
you mean you're going to be cleaning up for a minute?
I just leave.
You just walk away.
I walk past her. Like, I couldn't stop him.
As she like right before she closes the door, a single like wisp of incense smoke escapes the door.
I guess go let our friends know what we found out and wait here. I'll wait by the door still. I don't know what your ritual is.
What are you telling Krog?
Got the opportunity. Yes.
Not so much a ritual as thankfulness meditation.
Krog
Oh,
basically
God.
just. You see a look on his face of kind of like a terse understanding before just. Basically, he says, "Say no more," and then just walks away, and the four of them just leave back to the primary. And I think that's a great spot to end.
I also go back to the primary end, but I walk.
Mhm.
I take like
A
the
different
long
way.
route.
Yeah. It's over here, and you're like, I'm going all the way around this.
Yeah. Pretty much.
It might be a good example to set if we continued to roll while we did a quick safety check.
Sure.
Does everybody feel, I mean, obviously not okay, but did we go too far? Do we need to retcon? Do we need to avoid this kind of scene in the future?
Was this scene too graphic? Because we were trying to not make it too graphic.
I don't think it was graphic.
But
Kept most of it
was
in the
pretty
dark.
emotionally charged at times.
My
Yeah.
I know I am feeling a little bit of bleed,
my
Yeah.
but
I don't
I've been
think any of us
expecting
as humans,
So
as actual people, would ever be able to do anything our characters
Right.
just did. We're having a rough time with that.
yeah, for sure.
on the bright side, he wasn't sacrificed to a mind flayer.
That is
Right.
a good thing. That is true.
That is some bright
On the
side.
minor bright side.
That,
Like,
that
I-
is a bright side as much as the Killer's song.
Yeah, I literally thought about it. I'm like, my character would never be okay with that.
No.
I assume that if we have any viewers in the future, they'll also think it right
Let
before
us
you say it out
know.
loud. But yeah, please feel free to let us know if there's any problems in our comments. Let us know what you think, if it went too far, or if it was okay. Or I guess really, if it was okay, don't leave a comment. If there's any problems,
Well,
let us know.
Comments are good for you too.
Let us know. Just give us a comment no matter what.
Tell
So,
us.
Talk to me. I need friends.
But really,
we're
need
gonna
friends.
go ahead and end it here. We're gonna start working a little bit more on having things in the videos as well, like timestamps where you can just click to skip certain parts if you want to as well.
that's especially important in this episode, I think.
And this could be an important episode where that could happen. So if there's any, we'll start working on timestamps. We'll start working on having like next episode buttons. But thank you all for watching. If you're watching in the future, we're glad you came. If you're watching right now, it's good to have you. But we'll see you all later.
Bye.
Doodles.